All right, listener. Today we're diving deep underground, literally, with Hugo and Rain and their 100 days in a bunker
Yeah, this whole social experiment thing they signed up for.
for a chance to win, what, $500,000?
Yeah, a massive cash prize. It's a really fascinating scenario, though. I mean, it's not every day we get to analyze
Right.
how people behave under such extreme
That's
conditions.
pretty unique.
Yeah, we're talking isolation, limited resources, and like the constant pressure
Yeah.
of this high-stakes challenge. It's going to be interesting.
And on top of all of that, just to add another layer of complexity, they'd never even met before.
Right, before entering this whole underground world.
So let's start maybe with the bunker itself. What are we working with here? 40 feet underground, right?
Yeah, 40 feet underground. But, they do have some amenities to make it, I don't know,
Right. It's not
not totally primitive.
It's not like a hole in the ground.
Exactly. They've got a gym, a vegetable garden to, keep them busy, and even a designated vibe cave, which I got to say I found pretty intriguing.
Okay, interesting. But I mean, the core challenge is still there, right?
Oh, absolutely.
100 days
100
in
days.
this confined environment. And the second you leave,
You forfeit everything.
gone. So who are these brave souls? What are their mindsets going in?
Well, we've got Hugo, who he's a self-proclaimed Mr. Beast superfan.
Okay, so he's drawn to the,
Yeah. The challenge, the spectacle of it all.
the potential for a life-changing win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then we've got Rain. She seems a bit more grounded,
Okay.
more focused on her family and, using this as a test of her own limits.
I see, I see. So their initial reactions, we see that in the footage, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's a mix of excitement and apprehension. Understandable, I think.
Completely. I mean, who wouldn't be?
Right. But then things take a turn, a very dramatic turn.
Oh, yeah.
On day 10. Jimmy, the mastermind, he throws a wrench in the works.
He throws a wrench. He does love to do that.
The money-burning alarm. What is that all about?
Oh, this is where the real psychological study begins, I think. This alarm, it goes off randomly once a day, and it adds this, whole other
Stress.
level of stress.
Yeah.
And to stop it, they have to scan their hands on these sensors located on opposite sides of the bunker.
Oh, wow.
So they have to work together, and, they only have 1 minute to do it.
Oh, my gosh.
Talk about pressure.
That immediately, completely shifts their focus, right?
Oh, absolutely.
They go from getting acclimated to just straight up survival.
It's all about survival at that point.
Right. So we see them sleeping next to the scanners, always on edge. And how does that pressure start to impact their, how they interact?
Well, it's a perfect example, really, of how external stressors can, completely impact group dynamics.
Yeah.
You've got the threat of financial loss, the constant need to be vigilant. It just creates an environment where conflict is...
It's inevitable, I think.
It's bound to happen, yeah.
Yeah.
Even between people who start off,
Seemingly friendly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Relatively amicable. And Jimmy, he knows
Oh, he knows.
how to exploit that vulnerability.
So on day 20, he offers them their first, temptation.
Right. $50,000 to shorten that alarm timer down to 30 seconds.
Wow, that's a big...
It's a gamble.
It's a gamble, yeah. So what do?
They take it.
They take it. Why?
Well, they've been consistently hitting the scanners, under 10 seconds,
They're feeling confident.
They're confident, yeah. They think they can handle it. And this early decision, it reveals a lot about them.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Their risk tolerance, their faith, and their teamwork.
But also they're, maybe they're a little bit seduced by that immediate reward.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what Jimmy's counting on, right? So day 30 rolls around.
He's not going to let up.
Nope. He offers another $50,000. But this time, it's to silence the alarm completely.
Oh, wow. So that's interesting. That's targeting their sense of security.
It really is.
Would they feel more or less anxious? Exactly. It's a tricky one. It forces them to think, do we rely on the external cue or our own internal sense of timing?
And they actually decline.
They do.
They want to keep that warning.
Which, that shows a surprising level of self-awareness.
Yeah.
They're recognizing that, hey, maybe without that alarm, they'd get complacent.
And that leads to greater risk.
Yeah, it could be a bigger risk in the long run.
That's a smart move.
It is. It shows they can think strategically, prioritize long-term success over just a quick payout. But then just when they're finding their groove,
Oh,
day 40,
what does he do?
he vacuums up, get this, $100,000 from their prize money.
What?
And he gives them 10 minutes to decide if one of them wants to just walk away with it
Oh my gosh.
and abandon their teammate.
This is like This is huge.
Huge turning point.
It really pits their, like, desire for gain, right, as an individual against
Right, against loyalty.
loyalty to each other, to the goal. And the thing is, if one person leaves, the other one has to continue alone. Alone.
For the rest of the time.
The full 100 days to win whatever's left.
Oh, that's brutal. That's so smart, though.
It's brilliant, honestly. Designed to exploit any little cracks.
Yeah. Yeah, so how do they...
As we see it, Hugo is tempted.
Yeah.
He's really feeling the weight of it all. Verbalizes his frustrations.
Is he annoyed with the work?
Workload, yeah. And even, like, he's got some issues with Rain.
He thinks she's demanding.
Yeah, something like that.
He's feeling the pressure.
Oh, big time.
But Rain...
Rain, she appeals to their shared identity.
Oh, as the sewer rats.
The sewer rats, exactly. It reminds him of their initial commitment, the goal.
Yeah.
And ultimately, they both stay.
They stay. Even after all of that, even after the tension, the allure of just taking the money and running.
They stay. Which says a lot about, you know, their evolving camaraderie.
Yeah.
And their growing resilience. They're in it for the long haul.
They're sticking together.
Yeah.
But their relationship is definitely not, like, mended.
No, not completely.
And Jimmy knows that.
Oh, he knows. So what does he do?
Day 50, he throws another wrench in the works.
Mm-hmm.
This time, he brings in a visitor.
A visitor. Okay, cool.
Ryan Trahan,
Oh, wow.
you know, the popular YouTuber, does those endurance challenges himself.
Right.
So Ryan's arrival, it brings this, like, much-needed energy, a fresh perspective.
And he acts as like almost like a
mediator?
Yeah, a mediator. He helps them communicate, you know.
Those frustrations out.
Yeah.
Refocus on their goals. He even gives them a friendship test.
Which, amazingly, they pass.
They pass. And, you know, Ryan's presence, I think it just temporarily relieves some of that tension.
Yeah.
Reminds them what it's like to have social connection.
Yeah, to have support.
Even in these unusual circumstances, it's really fascinating to see.
It shows how much even if we don't think we're like super social people,
Right.
that we really do need that interaction.
We're social creatures at heart.
Especially when you're stuck in an enclosed space for, you know, at this point, 50 days.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like that isolation amplifies that need.
Makes it even stronger. Yeah.
And Ryan's visit is like this temporary reprieve.
But of course, you know, as soon as Ryan leaves,
Oh, back to reality.
back to business.
Back to the bunker life.
No.
Another offer.
Of course.
Jimmy loves to keep them on their toes. This time, it's a financial incentive
To
to
increase the risk?
increase the risk. And that is where we'll leave Hugo and Rain for now. Grappling with, you know, this evolving relationship of theirs, the pressure of the challenge, and the constant temptation of just
Taking that shortcut.
that quick reward. Join us next time as we continue this deep dive.
Into Hugo and Rain's.
100 Days Underground.
And see how they navigate all of this. It's going to be good. See you next time, listener.
Welcome back to Hugo and Rain's 100 Days Underground. Last time, we saw Ryan Trahan's visit.
Right. That visit really brought home how much we need social interaction. Like, even if we don't think we're super social, it's a basic human need.
Especially in an isolated place like that. But even with that boost, things were still pretty tense between Hugo and Rain.
Right.
Not all sunshine and roses.
No, definitely not. So as they settle back into bunker life,
Yeah, what happens?
well, that tension just keeps bubbling up to the surface.
Like all that initial excitement
Yeah.
has worn off, and now they're facing the reality.
Reality sets in.
Yeah, this confined space, the lack of resources, the alarm constantly looming over them.
Right. That can't be good for your mental state.
It takes its toll.
Yeah.
And we start seeing them bickering.
More than before.
Oh, yeah. Getting on each other's nerves.
About, like, what, little things?
Little things, exactly. Things that probably wouldn't even bother them on the outside.
It's like all those annoyances are just magnified down there.
Tenfold, at least. This is what prolonged stress does.
Yeah, it erodes relationships.
Even the strongest ones. And the bunker becomes this pressure cooker.
All those frustrations have to go somewhere.
Exactly. And unfortunately for them, it's towards each other.
So we see Hugo kind of retreating, right? Back into his vibe cave.
Yeah. Finds comfort in his books, tries to learn guitar.
But to Rain, that probably feels like a rejection.
Like he's not invested.
Yeah.
So what does she do? She hides his books.
Oh, wow.
Tries to force him to engage.
That's so interesting.
It is. It's her way of coping, I guess.
It's her way of controlling the situation.
Yeah, but it's not exactly healthy communication.
No, it's very passive-aggressive.
It just highlights how their individual coping mechanisms.
Which, you know, could be totally fine in the real world
Right.
are now causing conflict.
Because they're stuck together. Plus, it's not just the interpersonal stress.
Right.
The environment itself is a factor.
Oh, yeah, totally. Lack of sunlight, the fear of the alarm.
That routine, day after day,
It's like a constant drip of anxiety.
wearing them down.
And of course, Jimmy sees an opportunity.
Oh, he always does. Day 70, he comes in with an offer
In another word.
designed to exploit their vulnerabilities.
So what does he do?
He separates them, puts them on opposite sides of the bunker, just a curtain between them.
Okay.
Then he vacuums up, get this, $200,000
Wow.
from their winnings. Offers either of them the chance to walk away with it.
Oh, that's brutal.
It is. Forces them to choose between, individual
And
gain
their commitment to each other.
and the goal. And the kicker. If one leaves, the other gets a bigger prize.
So they're almost incentivized to betray each other.
In a way, yeah. It's messing with their heads.
It's a genius move by Jim.
It is. And we see Hugo really wrestling with it.
Does he say anything?
He admits he almost took a similar offer before.
Oh, wow. He was that close.
It's tempting, right? A guaranteed payout versus all this uncertainty.
Yeah, and the constant fighting.
Exactly. But somehow, they both stay.
They stay again.
Turn down all that money.
It's incredible.
It shows real resilience.
It does. Maybe a flicker of hope that their partnership isn't doomed.
But their troubles aren't over.
Not by a long shot. They still have a lot to work through.
They're not magically fixed.
No. The arguments continue, the resentment builds. It's like their decision to stay.
Wasn't about actually reconciling.
Right. It was more about the money. It's almost sad to watch.
Even their plants start dying,
Oh, wow.
like a symbol of their dying partnership.
Mhm.
But then, Jimmy throws them a bone.
Really? What does he do?
Day 80, he offers them a chance to earn a break from the alarm.
Okay, a break would be good.
Right. So he gives them a trivia question about Feastables, his chocolate.
I see.
They get it right, they get 10 days apiece. Get it wrong, the timer gets shorter.
Talk about high-stakes trivia.
High stakes indeed. But they pull through.
They know their Feastables.
They do. And that break, it's exactly what they needed.
More than just a physical rest.
Oh, yeah. It's a chance to reconnect, remember why they're doing this.
Do we see them, like, joking around again?
They do.
Hmm.
Reminiscing, even trying to bake together.
Like back in the good old days.
Exactly. It's a reminder that even in these crazy situations,
We can still find joy.
connection. They needed that reminder.
But it can't last forever.
Nope. Day 90 rolls around.
Back to the alarm.
Back to the pressure. and
Their offer.
Of course there is. This one's a game changer. $100,000.
So they could win $700,000.
Big money. But the timer, it goes back to a full minute.
Oh, no.
And it doesn't reset.
Wait, so they have 1 minute
1 minute for the rest of the challenge.
for the last 10 days.
10 days. Talk about pressure.
What do?
They take the risk.
They go for it with all that pressure.
They do. It's a huge gamble. Requires a whole new strategy.
Yeah, no more just reacting.
Nope. Got to be in sync. Plan every move.
It's like they're entering the final boss battle.
Exactly. And that's where we leave them. Facing the most intense 10 days of their lives.
Back in the bunker, listener.
Yeah.
Hugo and Rain, 10 days left, and the pressure is on.
Oh, yeah. They've got $700,000 on the line.
But that 60-second timer,
And it won't reset.
that's got to be, just brutal.
Mentally and physically, they're exhausted. All that tension from before.
Still there.
And now every single thing they do revolves around that clock.
Right, it's a total shift, right. Before, they could be reactive, just run to the scanners.
Now it's all about strategy.
Every move.
Bathroom breaks, meals, everything has to be planned out.
It's like a military operation.
They go full survival mode, rearrange the bunker, create a little survival zone around the scanners,
So they're basically living.
right next to those buttons. Sleeping, eating, everything.
And they even come up with, like, a new rule.
Oh, the bathroom rule?
Rain, she's worried Hugo's going to cost them everything with his,
Frequent bathroom trips.
So they put a limit on it?
Drastic, maybe?
But it shows how seriously they're taking this.
They're laser focused. Spend hours training, timing their movements, practicing on those scanners,
It's amazing, that dedication.
turning anxiety into action. But, old habits die hard.
Oh no, what happens?
Day 98, Hugo pushes it with that bathroom rule.
Cuts it close.
Too close. Triggers that old tension with Rain.
She must have been furious.
Terrified they're going to lose it all. And it shows, how fragile everything still is.
Yeah, one little slip up.
And it all falls apart. But then Hugo does something unexpected.
Okay, what
Rain's in the shower, can't interrupt, and he opens up.
about?
Admits the relationship's been tough, but says he wouldn't want to be there with anyone else.
Wow.
Acknowledges her strength how they've both been pushing for this win.
He's showing appreciation.
Yeah. A moment of vulnerability.
And connection.
Like they finally get some closure, can face those last few days as a team.
So we come to the final day.
The tension is thick.
Jimmy goes down there one last time.
Ready to trigger that alarm. They're standing side by side.
Hands hovering over those scanners.
Exhausted.
But ready.
That alarm blares. They move in sync. Years of practice coming down to this.
Hit the scanners.
Perfect unison.
And
Timer stocks. Seconds to spare.
they did it.
They actually did it. 100 days, isolation, all those temptations.
They conquered it all.
They come out of that bunker, blinking in the sunlight, winners.
$700,000 richer.
But I think they gained something even more valuable.
Yeah, insight into themselves.
Resilience, the power of teamwork, human connection.
It's been a wild ride, listener, watching them go through all of that.
Peaks and valleys, but they made it.
And it makes you think, what would you have done?
How would you handle those challenges, those offers, that pressure?
It's a question worth pondering. And that wraps up this deep dive into Hugo and Rain's 100 Days Underground.
Thanks for joining us, listener. Keep exploring, keep learning, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.